From rising debt burdens to falling investments, shrinking aid and a development agenda that is way off track, there is broad consensus that the current global financial architecture is failing, with this conference in Sevilla seen as an opportunity for a paradigm shift.
This offers us a chance to change course, to catalyse investment, but also to address debt and sustainable development, to reform the rules of the system and to put people's needs at the centre. We first promoted that in the Pact of the Future with the call for a renewed international financial architecture. We will have more than 70 heads of state and government, leaders of international financial institutions, our development banks, the private sector, civil society, philanthropists. They'll all be converging in Sevilla. The collective presence alone, I believe, sends a good signal for multilateralism at a time when we're facing quite a bit of pushback. And the ambition, I believe, and the promise of Addis is still protected.
The final outcome document to be adopted at the conference reaffirms the realization of sustainable development and the SDGs, launches an ambitious package of reforms to close the financing gap, including enhancing the fiscal space, addressing debt challenges of developing countries, and lowering the cost of capital. It commits member states to reforming the international financial architecture while committing that international tax cooperation be fully inclusive and effective among a host of commitments. All this as the United States withdrew from the conference, telling member states last week that it would not participate, citing UN overreach.
We no longer reaffirm the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals as a matter of course. We cannot support a global development financing framework that interferes with the governance structures and mandates of the international financial institutions. The International Monetary Fund, the multilateral development banks, and other intergovernmental development finance institutions are independent bodies governed by their respective shareholders, and decisions regarding their resources, financing terms, and allocations must be made within those established frameworks.
The UN is, quote, overstepping. I'd like your reaction.
A matter we put to the Deputy Secretary General.
When one important member state walks out of the room on incredibly important issues to billions of people, it is regrettable. But that doesn't stop us continuing to engage with that member state and to convince them that this is not the right way to go. This is not what investing in people and the environment, for which they have many proposals to do so. I mean, the United States believes that responsible development is important. Well, responsible development is meeting the commitments of the SDGs. And so I think that while we have them not attend Seville, I think that there is the day after Seville. And the day after Seville will be implementing many of the commitments from Seville, and that's where we will engage again with the US and hope that we can make the case that they be part of the success of pulling millions of people out of poverty and attaining the SDGs.
600 million people could still be living in extreme poverty by 2030 without a change in course, while some 3.3 billion people currently live in countries that spend more on paying debt than on health and education.
I think it is a moment amongst the UN conferences that we will have a chance to renew hope in a system that everyone is really, quite frankly, saying, what are we doing, what for? The geopolitical tensions have been high, but this is a gathering that I think on an important issue of where we can do something, that we are. It is demonstrating that global challenges can be addressed. We are trying to keep the promises of the SDGs, and we look forward to seeing everyone in Sevilla.
The philosophical concept of Ubuntu.
South Africa said the world was facing a sustainable development emergency that could only be resolved through collective action and multilateralism, while asserting the need for greater global Ubuntu.
We are extremely pleased that we have collectively negotiated a concrete and detailed roadmap that rises to the occasion and which holds the promise of making a significant inroads into the sustainable development financing gap to help us get the SDGs back on track. We believe that the adoption of this document will send an important signal to the world that multilateralism can and does deliver, as well as sorely needed message of hope and solidarity, including that we will keep fast to our solemn commitment to leave no one behind.
The Sevilla International Financing for Development Conference runs from June 30th until July 3rd. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.